Good evening and welcome to Air to Ground Farms Monday Night Live. I'm Shelley.
I'm Rich.
Today is Monday, March the 9th, 2026. And there's a lot going on in the world, but right here on this farm, we're just, keeping the animals alive. Yeah. And enjoying this kind of springtime weather.
Yeah, check in and let us know where you are and what's going on with your farm homestead life. We are very interested to know. We can start with a weather brief tonight.
We can start with a weather brief tonight.
Beautiful weather today, y'all.
Yeah.
We
were out farming actually today, and it warmed up, and we were wearing short sleeve shirts.
Yeah.
I don't know what the temperature was.
Mid-70s.
Comfortable.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We may hit 80 tomorrow.
Really?
Yep.
That'll be less comfortable. Might make you sweat a little.
Better than freezing.
Oh my gosh, so much better. The animals are doing really well. We got some rain, quite a lot of rain.
Yeah. We have water in our creek. We have a wet weather creek that runs through the middle of our property. And typically about November, we start getting rain and the water flows in the creek then for the entire winter. But this week is the first time we've had water in the creek since like maybe June, July last year. Like it's been really dry. It
has. It's hard on farmers, not just us, but across the country and the places. We just have had weird weather and a lot of dryness. But it did rain. We got several inches, and the grass is starting to green up. It's waking up. It's starting to green up, and the warmer nights are going to help. Really, the nighttime temperatures getting above, what is it?
50. It really starts growing above 60.
Okay, at
Grass
night,
loves it.
That's really the magic number. It can be really warm in the daytime, but when it drops off at night, that just kind of keeps the grass slow. So as we warm up, it's daylight savings time now. So it's interesting that when you farm, it affects all of us. But when you farm, the whole farm just had to kind of shift an hour. Yeah, it kind of throws everything off, but we do love this time of year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We love it when the clocks do this. I like a longer evening. I can drink coffee in the dark.
In the mornings,
in the mornings. So
yes, and so transitioning to the farm update, that green grass is driving our ruminant animals crazy. They can all see it and smell it, and I'm sure that in their minds they can taste it.
Yeah, they can, and probably we're going to come home at some point, and they're going to say, "Yeah, just went through that fence."
This time of year, it starts to get difficult to keep everybody exactly where you want them.
Yeah. Even the chickens, even the chickens will want to go through the electric netting and get to the grass on the other side because they're in a winter spot right now. So what we did something today. We've never done this before. You just try things.
Yeah, we unrolled a bale of hay. We normally unroll hay for the cows and the sheep, and we unrolled a bale of hay for the chickens today.
Yeah, because it was getting quite sparse where they are. We don't want to put them on some of the new grass just yet. So this was an effort to appease them, give them some greenery to eat. It's good for the dirt, lots of seed, and we'll see. We'll see. They may just decide to lay their eggs in it. It may backfire.
It's
so
certainly
horribly.
possible.
Sometimes things do backfire, because you try it and it's not. It sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, so the chickens are doing good. We're getting a lot of eggs these days. The cows are all doing good. Sheep are good. We should start lambing 2 to 3 weeks. I looked on our board last year. We had our first lambs on March the 21st. So we are not far from lambs.
Yeah. Yay.
Things get busy when we start having lambs. And then the first set of our broiler chickens this year will hatch the last day of March. Mm-hmm. And so they will get to the farm the first day or two of April. Mm-hmm. We have one of our sows is due to have her piglets right about the first day of April. So we're going to have
spring.
Yeah, spring on the farm. We've got, and you guys know we have 5 calves on the ground right now, and we're just a few weeks from lambs and chicks and piglets. Oh my.
Yeah. And I think one of our dairy cows, it's going to be, it's getting close to start talking about drying her off. Stella, unfortunately, we put the bull in with her, and he was in there for a longer period of time, and we didn't really catch when she cycled. So we're not 100%, but we're going to have to just kind of do some farm math and make a decision and dry her off and let her have a break. Because she calved March 23rd last year. So she's been milking for a year. And we know she's pregnant. We know she's big pregnant. We're thinking May. Right? I think that's what you said.
Maybe.
May, June. So we'll talk about drying her off and giving her a break. And on that same topic, we're still in the works on potentially adding a third to our little micro dairy. The testing came back all good on her. No yoni, they did all of the tests and plus some, and everything came back really perfect. And she's just freshened. So there's that. So if we dry Stella off, we would have still 2 cows in milk.
Yeah.
So that would work out really well. That's kind of the idea, right?
Is always have 2 cows in milk, so that we'll set their calving cycles so that we only have 1 dry at a time.
Yeah.
And additionally, that would mean that we only have a few months out of the year when we have 3 cows in milk.
Yeah.
And it's just
Our current setup that's a lot of milk for our current setup.
So a lot of bottles, a lot of bottle washing. You know, it's not just the milking the 3rd cow only adds about 15 minutes. It's all of the other stuff.
Right. But, if depending on the customer base, we can make a decision to just say, okay, this many gallons is going to go to animals. And it still adds so much food to the animals that's okay.
And Shelly did a butter making video.
She sure did.
For our video last week. If you haven't seen it, check that out. And that's another thing that we do with milk that we that doesn't sell or that we haven't sold. We will
I'll just pop the cream right off the top of that and make some butter out of it. There is not much better than homemade butter, as it turns out.
Yep.
So we like doing that. And if you haven't seen that video, make sure to check that out. I am not a professional butter maker, which is kind of the point. Anybody can make butter.
Yeah.
Just start shaking. Do you remember doing that 2nd grade?
I do.
We were in the same pod.
Yeah.
Yeah. We weren't in the same classrooms. We were in the same pod. He knew who I was, by the way. And I knew who he was.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway.
We didn't start dating in 2nd grade, though. That was high school.
No, that was high school. Yeah. But you did like me.
I did.
Yeah. His mom and dad called him Charlie Brown because he was in love with the girl with the long red hair.
The little Miss Speckled Perch.
Well, you didn't have to go there.
Your mom would have.
Yeah, so we've known each other for a while. And anyway, in that grade, we learned how to make butter back in 2nd grade.
Yep.
So anyway, hey, who's here? Let's do a quick check-in, right?
Well, the puppy's doing well too. We showed you the puppy a couple of weeks ago. They are outside. She's with the sheep. Her mom and she are with our feeders, our wethers that are not too far from processing.
Right, they're very close.
And she's doing great. She's walking around, sort of following her mom around.
I saw them this afternoon. It made me smile. They look a lot alike. She looks just like her mom. And they were sitting there like, mama and baby. And they were so cute. And they were just sitting there looking at me. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. Y'all are adorable.
Yep. And she's going to grow up knowing how to take care of sheep.
Yeah. And what Hotwire is.
Yeah, right.
She hasn't ventured too far out yet, but
she will.
We will hear her when she does, but that's okay. They're really smart. They don't do it. They don't do it too many times.
Nope.
Okay, now we can say hi to everyone.
Now we can say hi.
And do a roll call. Who's here tonight with us?
Roll call.
So if you're new here, we love to just get everyone's questions and where are you from? This is a community. This is a Monday night family. We like to, bring everybody and get everybody involved as much as we can.
Miss Carol, I Want Chickens says hello from a very comfortable 60 degrees weather in Harleysville, Pennsylvania.
I'm so glad you guys warmed up.
Yeah,
Man,
for sure.
y'all were cold.
Phil's Rabbitry, Southwest Missouri, says happy Monday, 71 degrees here in Washburn.
Wow.
Yep. Old School Nana, my mom, Nana and Papa, checking in from next door. Hi, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, they are in from farming. They were farming a little while ago.
Yeah.
Doing some stuff out there.
Yep.
They're visiting for the week.
Something always breaks. This evening, it was the pig water was leaking, and so Dad was able to change out some washers and get that not leaking anymore. Becca says,
Good.
happy Monday. It's been a beautiful day here in Missouri.
Yes.
Off Grid with Marty. Hello.
Oh, glad you're here.
Hello, everyone from West Virginia.
Awesome.
Mary checking in, saying hello.
Hey there.
Carol, I Want Chickens, wishing all of my like-minded friends a very happy St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yeah.
If you celebrate or not, I hope everyone has a great day
Oh,
on
yeah.
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, it's coming.
Homestead Jude says, good evening from Charleston, West Virginia.
We got a couple of West Virginia people in here tonight. How cool.
E. Kim Markham, hi, Mom. Happy Monday from Mom and Dad in sunny South Florida. I believe that.
I did hear that Florida finally got some rain. A friend of mine told me that today.
Oh, yeah?
They've been really dry. I don't know if Okeechobee got any, but Florida was needing some rain.
Yeah.
They're crunchy.
Hannah, the daughter number 2, just down 2 air-to-ground bacon cheddar bratwursts. Perfect post-flight meal. Happy to be here. Happy you're here.
Happy you're here, Hannah. Hail.
Hail, yeah.
That's right.
She's flying the T-38 now, learning how to be an instructor pilot. So awesome.
Yeah. They're only going to be 6 hours away from us in a few months. I'm so excited.
Yeah, for sure. Miss Susie Q. Martin says hello. Waiting for the other foot to drop. Tornadoes tomorrow. Prediction by Ryan Hall, y'all. We like to watch Ryan. And Max Velocity, both from northern Indiana. I think we have some severe weather rolling in tomorrow also.
Fun.
Yeah. Like Tuesday night, Wednesday. I think the high Wednesday is going to be
spring.
in the morning, and then the storms are going to pass and the temps are going to drop.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting
Yeah,
day.
it's spring in the Midwest. It's just, the thunder rolls.
Yep. Off Grid with Marty. Hello, everyone from Polka, West Virginia. Susie Q says hello. Old School Nana and Papa. Patty Irwin saying hello. Hi, Miss Patty. Jeannie Kinlan, good evening, everyone, from a beautiful southeast Nebraska where it reached 76. I think that's about what we got to today.
So.
Yeah, what a beautiful day. Robin Pugh says, Richard and Robin here in Deltona, Florida. We received our first order of air-to-ground meat, and it's delicious. Yay.
I'm so glad.
That's awesome to hear.
Oh, that was fun to send that to you.
Yeah, thank you for the feedback.
Thank you.
And she says, thank you for all you do.
Oh, that's so awesome. Let me know when you need some more. Too easy.
Yeah. Mary says, speaking of the butter video, loved it, but have a question.
Okay.
Send it.
Send your question.
Xana says, hi, sorry I'm late.
Glad you're here.
Not late, glad you're here. Ronald says, hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, Ronald. And then we've got Mary says, we've been purchasing real butter in the stores, the Amish, and even the Kerrygold butter, but none has the same taste from my childhood. Is that flavor that I'm missing due to the cow or prep?
My initial guess is your childhood, you probably had, it was probably raw cream and allowed to culture on the
Or
counter.
not.
Or not.
So that
It may have been sweet cream.
Shelley mentioned it in the video. What she made was what
Sweet
you would
cream.
call sweet cream butter. It was not, the cream was not allowed to culture at all. So you end up with butter, but it doesn't have that sort of tangy, buttery taste. It's
Right.
just a sweeter flavor.
So one of two things. It could have been the product that they were using, or the product and the prep, and what they did to it just prior, depending on if it was raw or not. I think pasteurized, and then you would have to culture it. So it just depends on what they were using. It's hard to answer for sure.
Yeah. And you can't, it won't culture if it's pasteurized.
You have to add culture to it.
Yeah.
And then allow it to sit. You can culture it.
Yeah.
But not on its own.
You would probably have to buy like a buttermilk culture.
Yeah, you would.
And
we've gotten that from the cheese
it.
making store.
Yeah.
Like literally it's like cheese making store or something online.
Yeah.
You bought that from. Mm-hmm. So it just depends. What you're getting from the store is for sure pasteurized and homogenized and then recultured. So if they were using raw, it could have been just, it was just the good stuff.
Yeah. And then your mom's answering your question. We did get rain last night, strong thunderstorm. The grass already looks green.
Oh, good. Especially with a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
The lightning just...
It'll green it right up.
Yeah, just blows it up. Good. That's wonderful.
So that's the check-in.
Okay, good. Glad you guys are all here. So tonight, so in case you didn't know, there's like a war happening in the world, and a big one. Not nothing for sure. It's a big deal. And he sent me an article this morning pertaining to it. It's a Substack read, pretty long read. But when I got done reading it, it was talking about the war and where we are with it, very rational with strategy mixed into it and applied military strategy to this guy's analysis. And when I got done reading it, I just looked at him and I'm like, it seems to me like we should take this strategy or this entire concept and apply it to this farm or the farm business, or, you can extrapolate it and just say our lives, because it made so much sense to me to say, why aren't we applying these principles to what we're doing? And so that led us to tonight's live stream topic of farming is war.
Very, very similar. So the idea behind this guy's article, he was a military strategy instructor, and the idea was based on the writings of Carl von Clausewitz, who is one of...
Can I stop you 1 second? If you're new here and you don't know, Rich was in the military. He was in the Air Force for 25 years prior to us farming. That being said, he is also has a master's degree in philosophy and strategy, military strategy. And so he served the United States Air Force in the Pentagon for several years as a military strategist. And so that's why I'm going to let him talk to all of the Clausewitz and what he's about to say. But that's our background. So that's why we would apply these principles and be thinking about this. Somebody might be brand new and don't know.
That's fair.
Okay.
So Clausewitz was Prussia, very, very German type thinking, things very rational. And the sort of the foundation of it is that war is just a continuation of policy through other means. And with that, you have to start with the policy and clear objectives coming from the top. So this guy's analysis, the article that we were reading, was really taking what were the stated objectives from our political leaders, and then how is the war progressing based on those stated objectives. So our thought then was applying that to the farm, because we all think that farming is what? Farming is peaceful. Farming is hard work, and while all true, hard work towards what? And without clear stated objectives, and then continuing to analyze where you are in relation to those objectives, it is just work, right? It's not necessarily going towards something.
Right.
So that really is a little bit deeper as to why we wanted to talk about this tonight.
Yeah. And I think we can apply it to I think we apply these principles, not just our farm. And if you don't have a farm and you are living in the suburbs somewhere, we can apply it also, these things like to our health. What is the stated objective for whatever it is that you're trying to achieve with your health? If it's just make the number on the scale smaller, or if it's, the number on the scale, yes, but I also want, what is the main objective for whatever my program is that I'm currently working? So if it's strength, you wouldn't want to just deprive yourself of calories. So we can apply these across our life and basically run a filter on it. So let's go through just a few of the principles and how it would apply to our farm, our business, or your life.
So first off, farming is a strategic conflict.
Yeah. Okay.
It just is. It feels peaceful, but you're actually consistently fighting things.
Like the weather and markets. What is the cattle market doing? Is it up? Is it down? Do I sell? Do I buy? Just like the stock market. Debt. Predators.
Debt, not a huge issue for us on our farm, but for the majority of farmers in America, debt is a very, very big deal.
Yeah.
It is the way conventional farming has transitioned over the past 50-ish years. It has basically set a debt trap for farmers, and the majority of farms are caught in that debt trap. Like it is a huge factor that they're constantly battling. Did this year's crop sales make enough to pay off the operating loan that I had to take out to buy the seed? And I also have to have a business that's stable enough for the banks to loan me next year's operating loan so I can buy the seed, the fertilizer. There's a war going on right now, and that's affecting fertilizer prices. The idea there of a farm being caught in debt, that is a huge thing that farmers are battling.
Huge conflict.
Yeah.
Labor shortages right now in this country. Farming is really going through it because of labor issues. Don't want to get into it, but immigration that the whole farming community is greatly affected by whatever our immigration policies are or are not. They're affected.
And similarly, regulations. You're constantly, we are definitely fighting rules and regulations about, we can sell raw milk, but we can't sell raw milk from our store. We can sell raw cream, but we can't sell butter. Like the regulations are a constant struggle. They are not farmer friendly. No,
I will tell you that.
The USDA says that farms can process 20,000 birds on farm, but each state then takes that and adjusts it. So in Missouri, we're only allowed to process 1,000 birds on farm. USDA says you can cut them up and part them out. Missouri says you cannot cut them up and part them out. So the regulations even are a constant battle.
Yeah. So everything, those things being a strategic contest, then the farm or the person or the business should be asking questions as they're making decisions, like the filter. Are we trying to, what is our stated objective? Are we trying to maximize profit? Like, is that our goal? Because in the corporate world, if it comes to a publicly owned entity, their shareholders demand that they maximize profit at all costs. And right now they're doing it through laying people off. That's how they're maximizing their profits. And so, but as a small farm, is that our goal? No, probably not.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. Are we trying to build soil? Are we trying to feed our family? Like on your homestead, maybe that's your primary goal. My primary goal is to feed my family, for sure, especially if you're off grid as well. Or are we trying to scale a business? So is it a homestead or is it a farmstead? or is it a commercial farm? And at knowing what entity you even have, and then pressing yourself really hard on that question or any of these questions is important to whether or not, I guess, you're going to succeed.
Yeah, for sure. Because you end up, and you'll see that a lot with moving back to the military side of things. There's a whole lot of numbers reported, X number of ships sunk, missile launchers destroyed, like all of these things. But is that leading you towards the stated objective?
Right.
Right. And the gentleman, the article that we were reading, the Substack that we were reading this morning, his point was, yes, the numbers that we're seeing out of this current conflict are in line with the objectives as stated. And thus his assertion is that, yes, we are winning this war. And you really have to look at those stated objectives to determine whether or not you're winning or whether you're just fighting. And I think for us on the farm, it has this whole, man, today, it's just been banging around in my nugget. Like this whole thing has got me really, really thinking.
Okay.
About our farm, our business, our life. Like we stated our goals and objectives when like before we ever bought the property. Even we had farm goals set.
We had a notebook. We still have it.
Yeah, we had mission statement, vision statement. What is our why? Like so we didn't just start it with nothing, but we also had no background knowledge and no experience, no business training, no farm training. Like we had all of sort of the one side of it, but from a military perspective, what we didn't have, they call it intelligence prep of the environment, IPOE. So that is, what is as much information as you can gather on the environment before you make decisions on what to do. And we had no information from a business perspective.
Mm-hmm. And farm business is it's a tough one. The margins are so razor thin that we didn't know at the time what to expect at all. We could only make plans, blind plans. How does that go in the military? Like blind plans?
You don't.
Like no.
No, without intel you can't plan.
Right.
Like you have to have that prep, and it's weather, it's terrain, it's culture. Like it's not just how many tanks do they have. Like there's a lot more to that prep. And so I we went into this with a plan and really not a whole lot of intelligence. So it's got me now almost 5 years in thinking back now, and like I want to sit down and sort of go through the military planning process with our farm business life
as it currently sits,
yep. And say, are we where we actually want to be?
Right.
I get what our stated objectives were 5 years ago with very little and incomplete intelligence. Are those objectives still valid, or do we need to relook at things?
So the danger of unclear objectives, that really is what kind of muddles, even if sort of where you want to go, but things are kind of unclear. So on the farm, I'll just throw out some questions. A farm says, we want a lifestyle. But then you build this thing 5 years later and you look up and you say, we just created a system that requires like 80 hours a week. What lifestyle was it? What were you wanting? Or maybe the farm says we want profit, but then we price emotionally because farmers don't really want to take people's money. It's weird because food is so, I mean, it's a human requirement.
And we've done podcasts on this.
Oh, yeah.
A few of them actually, as we struggle through pricing food because there is a stated expectation in our country that food is cheap.
Right.
That everyone deserves food, and it should be cheap.
And we don't disagree with all of it. It's just when that is your worldview in our culture, and it's our worldview, and then you say, here's some chicken breast for $14 per pound. It feels different when you're used to going to Walmart or to Costco and picking it up so much cheaper, but it's not even the same product. And then learning how to differentiate your products. But not only the money side, but then there's you say you want to make a profit, but the farm keeps enterprises that are losing enterprises. And the fact that if you don't know your numbers, you don't have anything really other than just, a kind of circling the drain enterprise.
And we've talked with you guys about it before, our struggle between the homestead mentality that we have, which is provide for ourselves, have resilience and sustainability for our family, but yet also have a business, market, sales, so like there's this conflict that happens with us between our desire to be self-reliant, self-sustaining, resilient, and those enterprises might not be profitable.
Right.
So there's this struggle between wanting resilience, but yet that might mean that from a business perspective, that's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah. And sometimes you just wind up there. Back to the war thing. I think this was the topic we were talking about this morning, because with the Iran thing going on, a lot of people are comparing it to Iraq. And a lot, the Iran is not Iraq in a lot of ways. Well, when we went into Iraq in 2003, it seemed like the objective was they have weapons of mass destruction. I'm talking from just little old me. They got weapons of mass destruction, and we got to go get them. We got to stop them.
Yeah, there were two stated objectives: remove the Ba'athist Party, led by Saddam, and no weapons of mass destruction. And, in order to do that, they said it should take 5 to 6 weeks. But then you get mission creep is what it's called. And all of a sudden it turns into nation building and a stable democracy. And, it just sort of, and then you
20 years later,
then you can't leave.
Mm-hmm. Right. But like with Afghanistan, you don't want to just stay on the farm. Like, you don't want to be like, never mind, that's it, I'm moving to the islands, and just do like in Afghanistan and just like, we're leaving.
Right.
That was, you don't want it to be a debacle. Can you have a, mid-roll, here we are 5 years in, can we have let's reassess. Let's reassess and make decisions. Maybe the objectives need to be dialed in tighter or revisited. That's where we are. I think there's some comments before we move on.
Yep. So we'll go real quick back up to Mary about the butter. She says, yes, I remember you mentioning the culture. So I would like more info on that when we speak in person.
Okay.
We had our own cow and others in the farming area where I grew up.
Okay.
Yep. Gotcha. Susie Q says, how do you feel about who they picked for a new leader? Will it be more of the same old down the road? Sometimes you have to know when to change tactics to get back on the right track.
Yes, for sure on that.
I believe you're correct there. And
I mean, the guy they
new
picked,
leader, I was reading Shell a little bit about that this morning. He's the dude's son, and his entire family was wiped out on February the 28th. So
he's probably not happy.
my guess is,
I don't know how long he'll keep breathing air.
From a U.S. perspective, that's not a great pick for us. From an Iranian Guard Corps, the IRGC, he was the perfect guy because he's hardline.
Yeah. But from our perspective, we don't want the IRGC. So
right.
Probably, I don't know. They'll probably go after him. Would be my guess.
I would guess they will.
Yeah.
S. Allen says hello from Okeechobee.
Hi.
Hiya. And Kayleen says howdy from Kansas City, Missouri.
Glad you're here.
Hiya. Homestead Jude sounds like Stephen Covey's ideas start with the end in mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And the military planning process, it's captured in Joint Pub 5.0. It is a very long, drawn-out process that takes, you would like to have weeks. It definitely takes days of an entire planning team to go through everything. But yeah, it's absolutely, in line with that.
Get on that for the farm.
Yeah. Hannah says, must state assumptions and contingencies with incomplete intel. Then you can adjust the game plan to accomplish the planned objectives. Yes. And we did not do that. So in a military plan, you have to actually list out all assumptions. So you go into it and you say, here are the facts and here are the assumptions. And for each listed assumption, you have to have a branch plan. Because if that assumption turns out to be false, there are changes that have to happen. And we did not.
Okay, I'll apply that to the farm. I assume that it's going to rain the 45 inches that it has historically rained in Missouri.
And it's not going to happen in like 1 week.
And it's not going to happen in 1 week. I assume that's going to happen. What is my contingency when it does not happen? When we first started farming.
That's correct.
We moved on this farm and the land wasn't super great, but boy, howdy, it had rained. It was thick. And then we had 2 years of drought. But what was the contingency in drought time?
And
Things you learn.
And we didn't have that. And, it sounds easy. We'll just buy hay. And we did. Mm-hmm. But now the grass is thinner.
Right. It actually, everywhere it hit us so hard that it actually thinned the grass. It wasn't as thick and lush. Now it's coming back, but it takes time. So you don't think that the fact that it didn't rain in 22 was going to affect 2024. Yeah. But it did. And so
yeah, you're absolutely correct.
You're right. Yeah.
For sure. Carol, I Want Chicken says, do you think it is necessary to factor in your future generations working and taking over the farm when you are ready to hand it off?
We think about that. We do. And we would love to say that we're building something that would be multi-generational. They say if you don't have a generation that is willing to farm it after you, then you don't have a first generation farm. You have a farm that you have built and you'll sell when the time comes. And then the kids can split it all up. We don't know right now what the kids want to do.
But
really.
we do consider it, and we do think it's important. And one of the reasons that we're building it the way that we are, where it's not a debt-based system and where it's not reliant on a whole bunch of chemicals that cost a lot of money, the input costs, we're trying to build it such that there isn't a whole lot of that, so that they wouldn't be, next generation wouldn't be burdened with this whole debt cycle that a lot of farms are in. And then we also want to build it in a way that they might actually want to do it, a way that is kind to animals, that allows the animals to be what the animals are supposed to be.
We have all girls.
But I mean, like,
it matters.
We didn't build a pig house with concrete and farrowing cages and, things that take an animal and put it in an environment that it's not necessarily designed to be in, that might make a younger generation think, why would I want to do that?
Yeah. What are we doing here?
Like, I don't want to just torture animals, but an idea of a business where things are what they were meant to be is another thing that we consider.
If they want it, we'll hand it to them.
Yeah.
But yes.
Phil says he's already been wounded, the new leader. We didn't know that.
Okay. Didn't know that.
So that's
okay, cool.
Caught up on comments.
All right. Got it. So get into Clausewitz and some of his key strategies and concepts that apply, like friction, fog of war. How do we apply? What are they, and how do they apply to this right here?
Exactly what you've said, even down to the weather.
Okay.
The literal fog, like I can't see, but when things don't go the way that you've planned them, the common saying is no plan survives first contact with the enemy. The enemy gets a vote. The
animals get a vote.
Right.
Right.
And even mentioning, hey, we have the animals still locked in tight in their winter areas to allow the grass to grow. What happens when the animals get out and eat that grass that was supposed to be growing?
Right.
That is friction. The animals become sort of the enemy at that point and are doing things that you don't want done, that you didn't plan for. And it's not just, well, the grass will grow back. At this time of year, the grass has stored so much energy down in its roots before winter. And right now it uses that energy to grow up so that it can make photosynthesis, right? It has to make a solar cell to catch the sun's energy.
To drive it back down into the roots. And if you take that little new baby leaf off too soon, it just took all of its energy. And now it's just going to be like,
it's going to be stagnant now for a long time. And it could even cost you a season. Like the entire grazing season can be stunted because you grazed the grass too soon. Ask us how we know.
Yeah. Trial. Sick friction, sick animals, broken equipment. With broken equipment. Processors. Can you find a processor whenever you're in this line of work? When can the processor get your animal in? How about just keeping the product on the shelf? Every manner of friction that you can think of, whether obviously, if markets, if they collapse, like if the cattle market collapses, that hits all of the ranchers especially.
And so we mentioned to you last week, we sell a premium product. If the economy tanks,
guess what? If the economy tanks, like full up tanks, and we watch it, if the AI does what they're saying they're gonna, if anything happens that the doomers think is gonna happen, do you think we're gonna be able to sell $15 a pound chicken breast?
We don't
think so. Like we watch and we go, well, we'll do this as long as we can. And whenever the market collapses, we'll have food for friends and family and ourselves. And then we'll just grow for ourselves.
Yeah.
We'll be a homestead at that point. And we'll just dial it. We'll just dial it right on back. But you said fog of war, but that was the information, like getting the information, getting correct information is really important. Correct intel.
Yeah, true.
Like the dude's wounded. Is that true?
Right.
Is that good intel? Especially with Iran, what's coming through on all of the social media stuff, we don't know. I've seen multiple times the Department of War and CENTCOM having to put out not true, and really having to fight the Iran has access to those things too. A lot of it's bots. We don't know what's putting what out there.
Yeah.
And so the information, the fight, and on the farm, information, fog of war would look more like.
Well, we don't know when Stella's going to have a calf.
Yeah, that's a problem. Right.
When do we dry her off?
Yeah, good point.
We don't have good intel.
Yeah.
There's fog there. We can't.
Right.
Like, we're going to.
Right.
We'll dry her off soon.
People have Farmer's Almanac, right? And so that gives you a little bit of predictability, say, about the weather and when to plant your garden. But you don't know for a fact that
you're past the last frost.
Because when you put those babies in the ground, it's a little bit of a risk because you don't know. Like, you really don't. Unless you got into June, then it's too late anyway.
Right.
So talk to me about the I think it's probably our last principle. No, one more. Identifying the center of gravity. So what is a center of gravity?
The idea of the center of gravity is like, if you can attack the center of gravity and eliminate it, take it out, make it, stop, whatever, then everything else sort of falls apart. So one of the every planning group I've been in, the most controversial thing for the group, the thing that takes the most time, the most arguments, are over trying to identify the enemy's center of gravity.
Okay.
And
this says the thing that holds the whole system together.
Right.
The enemy system?
Yeah. Well, you have a center of gravity as well as a friendly that you have to protect.
Yeah. Okay.
So you want to attack the enemy's center of gravity, protect your center of gravity.
Okay.
So we've spent so many years fighting insurgency type things. Typically, the pat answer for center of gravity for an insurgency is hearts and minds.
Okay.
Right? We have to win the hearts and minds of the people. If we can turn that towards the friendlies instead of towards the enemies, it's over for an insurgency, right? The insurgency just sort of dies down because the people have changed their minds and now accept you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a center of gravity.
Okay.
For us, for a regenerative farm, we could very easily say that soil is our center of gravity.
It holds everything together.
The whole thing is based on soil. Mm-hmm. And what we're trying to regenerate is the soil. The grass is dependent on the soil. Like, if you did something, if we plowed, if we tilled, and we had a good big rain, all the soil went to bull shoals, the farm, from a regenerative farm perspective, ceases to exist.
Okay. Got it. So pasture health, breeding genetics, like if we were into breeding high quality, we want it to be good quality, highest as we can kind of get our hands on.
But we don't do show animals, right? Our genetics and our quality is production.
Right.
So take the pigs, for example. A show pig is short. It's short lengthwise, not height, but it's short. It's got a round back. Right. It's this pudgy little pig looking. That's not a great production animal. You want a really long pig because the belly is
that's where your bacon is.
Is where your bacon
right.
is. That's your premium product.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not necessarily looking at show quality there. We're looking for genetics from a production.
Right. Good mamas.
Yeah.
That's what we want. I guess it could also be cash flow. It could be customer trust.
Yeah. Think about either of those. We opened the store because the first 2 winters we had no cash flow. Because
farmers markets closed, but the animals still need to eat. And we need revenue. We need cash flow coming back in so that we can buy more feed. And unless, there's some endless bank account, which there's not. Most farms don't have that. They go and get a loan from the bank, an operating loan, with a couple of commas involved.
Yeah.
But so cash flow was important for us. I don't know if it was a center of gravity. It may be. Like maybe it is. If there's no cash flow, it doesn't, like, it all revolves around that.
Yeah.
That's what holds it all together.
And customer trust, like how many negative reviews can you take?
I like the good one. We haven't got it.
But like
we don't have any negative.
we talk about it a lot, that
But word of mouth.
You know, a person to person recommendation is the highest thing that you can get as far as marketing goes. You know, what you don't want is to lose somebody's trust and then they're out, maybe not even writing it on Google, maybe just saying it, talking to people
Bad
about
mouthing around town.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Especially in a small town.
Yeah. In our business also, it could be the processing access. If you don't have a processor,
You don't sell meat.
You don't sell meat. Like, period. Or that's a significant friction for you having to drive a long ways to get a cow processed.
Yep.
Which people do, but we don't. Thank goodness we don't have to. We're in a good area for that. Family unity. You know,
on a family farm.
On a family farm, family unity needs to be. I don't know if it's the center.
So yeah,
but maybe it should be.
We've listed a bunch of things that are obviously very, very important.
Right.
And any one of those, I could argue vehemently that they are the center of gravity.
That holds the thing together.
Any one.
Right.
And then for a plan, you have to say, this is the one.
Okay.
And then there are critical capabilities associated with that. Once you've identified the capabilities, you can identify critical vulnerabilities. And now, you know, once you get to vulnerabilities, you can identify your measures of effectiveness to be able to attack those vulnerabilities, to remove the capability, which makes the center of gravity go away.
But you could work that in reverse.
Yep.
This is the center of gravity. And then you identify and then build a defense against that on the farm.
Right.
So you work that direction.
Yep.
You have to identify that and then work down, which is what you're talking about. We need to do that, having been doing this for 5 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look back on it with better intelligence.
Yeah. An example, many farms chase expansion when they should be protecting their land or their soil or their market relationships. This is great information. Especially if you have a homestead and you're wanting to start selling things, don't grow too fast. Or like I said, we can apply this to our life. We can literally, I think health is a great place to exercise these strategic, like go about our health in a strategic way so that we know when we make a decision and we're doing something. I think it would really help combat the cognitive dissonance that we have, all of us, us included, about our health. And the mirror, you start seeing all the things when you start looking. This is like a mirror of what you're doing.
Yep. So a couple of comments, question. Jeannie says, I plant my cool weather crops out into the garden the first week of April, knowing the risk for frost. So I make contingencies like using frost covers. Our last frost is predicted the end of April.
See, she knows the risk.
The assumption is, it's not going to frost.
Yeah.
The contingency plan is, if that assumption proves to be false, I have frost covers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then Hannah says, plan target backwards, which is absolutely what you do, especially at the tactical level of things. You know, so many times it is, how are we going to get there is the more important thing, when really you start at the target and work your way all the way back from there. Carol says, what's that?
I said, just got me thinking.
Got you thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Carol says, since I live in a suburban lifestyle, I look to the farming practices of the Mennonites and Amish, since they seem to have the right approach for most.
Yeah, I'm sure they they've gotten things very figured out in their communities, and talk about the generational thing. They have been doing what they do the way they do it for multiple generations, where we're coming from 80s kids out of we were rural, but we didn't grow up doing this we didn't grow up like this. So we're coming from the military and then trying to figure this out. These guys are passing it down generation to generation to generation. So yeah, they've got it figured. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. So tactical wins versus strategic victory. Real quick, as we kind of come to a close here.
Another common phrase: you win the battle but lose the war.
Okay.
Right. Like it, and what I was talking about, if the stated objective is X, but you blow up a bunch of other things, but you don't get to that objective, then you're not there.
Then you're just spending money. So we're not in a war. We don't talk about farming again. We aren't personally. Thank the Lord. Let's see. Winning would look like selling lots of product and losing, making no profit. You sold a lot, but you didn't have your numbers dialed. You didn't have it priced right. You didn't have your margin good enough to actually make the profit that you need.
Yep.
You got on the treadmill, but
you didn't go anywhere.
You didn't go anywhere. Or you got on the treadmill and then you went and had a Snicker bar. You did good on the treadmill for 2 hours, but the Snicker bar maybe didn't help.
Yeah. I know we wrote down expanding acreage. I think really it'd be more like just growing.
Yeah.
In general. So,
adding
you win
an enterprise
because you grew, right? Like I'm winning, I'm growing.
We expanded. In some manner. Yeah. But now it takes up even more time. It pulls more time from the family that maybe that was your plan to spend more time with. Yeah. And then you added another thing that, it'll only take 15 minutes, but whenever it accumulates.
Yeah.
So here we are sitting on YouTube, right? Going viral online, but we're sitting here on YouTube. Should we be farming? No, we should be here with you. But the focusing on that aspect rather than out actually taking care of the farm. So being able to balance those two is important.
Yeah. So winning on YouTube might be losing on the farm if it means you have to take all of your time to do the YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically all we need to do is ask ourselves, and you need to ask yourself, and whenever we're making a decision, does this meet the desired objective?
Right.
Our wheels are turning.
Yeah.
They really are. I can see you over there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And if it's not, you eliminate it, you simplify it, and you refocus. So right now in our world, we're going to go through this. We're going to do it and apply it to this 5-year-old ecosystem.
Yeah.
And
we'll see
what hits.
Yeah. A couple more comments. Anna says there's something about Rich's knowledge, such as the discussion about the center of gravity, that is a reflection of his military education and experience that is comforting.
Oh.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Jeannie says, I think it's really cool how you guys can look at farming like going to war. This has been a fun conversation. Well, good. We like to share with you guys the things that are happening in our life. And what you see with us is real thinking and real struggle. And, we want to share it with you. We feel that it's important for a community to be real.
And I think that the farming and war, the analogy, and I'm going to go back to it again. I think that if we take some of these principles, I'm going to, even in, other decisions that we make in our lives, whether it's our finances or preparing ourselves for, whatever apocalypse is coming, and really coming up with, what's your plan? I think a plan, even if it's not the best plan, is still better than no plan.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's been lots of military leaders that talk about, a plan is basically worthless. Planning is everything.
Okay.
So you identify all of these things when you're planning. And then because we've said no plan survives first contact with the enemy, right? So it's the planning process, all of the things that it uncovers and all of the information and the knowledge that you gain while you're doing the planning that is really the most helpful thing, because the plan changes immediately.
Yeah. Got it. Well, this was fun. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us.
Sure.
We hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And we thank you for being here. And until next week, bye, y'all.
All right. Bye.